Right, so we're in the back of the van. As you know, there's me freshwater tank. Cables are running along here now as a temporary thing. They're going through there, or they're coming into here for the power. They're going to go up that back into there. Sorry, I was pointing and not filming. Into there, and then here on this end, sort of in that area, is going to be my control panel. That bit there is going to be a cupboard. So I'm going to front the whole thing off, and then between this one and this one will be some storage. In here is where all the hamster's nest of wires is going to be, to keep them separate from anything. And obviously I will box this off, so this should becomes a little unit for whatever I need, I don't know. It's just an awkward bit of space. Yeah, and I'll show you my schoolboy error now. Is while in my haste to get all this wired and working, I've shrink wrapped all the connections, and of course they need to be disconnected, passed through the fascia board that I'm going to put here where all the control panel is going to be. They need to be passed through and then reconnected at that side, because as they sit at the minute they can't be passed through. So I've got to take all this off. I've got to put a blade through here and carefully get it off. Yeah, everything's on its own switch because I don't want any power draining, just with, you know, just static reading things. This is in now. I'll turn it on. You can see the switches there, which shows my, oops, upside down, that's the voltage of my batteries. Quite healthy, it's nice, it's a reasonable day. But obviously if I left that on all the time and left it for a few weeks, then that alone would start to drain my battery. So it's on its own switch, so I'll switch it on when I want to see it, and then when I don't want to see it, it'll be just off. Done the same with this. This is me fresh water. I will turn it on and see if it's going to work. There's my switch. So that's what it looks like. There's hardly any water in at the moment, but you can see that it lights up red. I don't know why that's flashing. Maybe it means it's on low, I don't know. I'll find out when I fill it up. But again, if that were running permanently, it would light the van up on the night time. So it's off. This is what my panel's going to look like. So I've got my diesel heater control's going to fit on there. Doesn't need a hole cutting in. It's got its own little plastic thing that you screw in, and then it clips into its own holder. That'll be fresh water, wastewater, or either, it doesn't really matter. And that's got its own switch underneath. That is the digital display for the batteries with its own switch underneath. And then that'll be waste with its own switch underneath. I'm going to have a switch here to the water pump. This is a little digital clock and humidity reader off Temu, a couple of quid. It's got a sticky back thing, stick it on. This switch will be here, but it'll absolutely be not switching anything. It'll be blank, but it'll give balance to the layout. So there's going to be a switch there for no reason other than it looks pretty. And then my inverter switch control will go to the top. This line here is the wooden frame, so you can see it will come up behind and sit there. I think I'm going to vinyl it, maybe put some white sticky vinyl on. The problem's going to be a lot of these pieces of equipment have got very little bezel. I don't know if you're going to be able to tell with that, but my hole is going to have to be really correct and tight, so there's not much room. So there might be multiple attempts at this before I get it so that it fits and everything fits. But it's just a scrap piece of ply, as I keep using, trying to make the most of what I've got. Oh, and that there, my badge fell off, maybe in the odd heat that we've had. Anyway, it fell off. I thought somebody had stolen it, but it were on the road. under my car, because I parked my car over the top where my van used to be parked. Anyway, so that's the switch holes cut and the switch fits. I'm now going to try and find a hole saw that's going to fit these, and it's a very narrow margin. This square one I think is going to be the nibbler, the oscillating tool as it's formerly called, and same with that one, that's a cut out there. So cut that, cut these. Oh. Okay, these fit nice, the switches fit nice, that's okay. This, it's alright top to bottom, it's too wide that way, so when I put the thing in I've got a gap and it'll fall through. So now I need to make a little plate that'll go over there. Yeah, I don't want to throw it away. Everything else is working out, so I don't want to start again just for that. This little 12 volt digital display, red and black, comes off the back straight to your batteries at both sides of your leisure batteries, and then it gives you a red LED display on what your voltage is in your batteries, so you can monitor your batteries as they're going down. I got it off Temu, £1.33. It did have two little wires on the back, which if I go right down here and get my finger in, it's them two little what do you call them, soldering bits, had a red and a black off them, and within 10 minutes of faffing about with it, the wire snapped off. So I don't have anything small enough to solder that back on. Works perfectly fine. I did put a switch in the red so that I can switch it on and off so it's not permanently on. And so I've paid £1, no sorry, that were £1.33. So I paid £8 and got a proper job. And on the back of that is some spade connectors, so there's no wires coming out of solder and all that stuff. I haven't tried it yet, hopefully it'll work just the same. We're going to find out, I suppose. Okay, finally, that's the control panel. So the inverter switch on and off is wired in. You get your lights there, that's on. I just heard the inverter click, so that can be turned off. This is the temperature and humidity, it's just a little cheap little thing. 25.8 in the van. This is the water pump, it's not labelled, but that's the water pump. That's the water pump. That one is not wired to anything, that's just to make it look pretty, so it balances out. That's the wastewater, which is not wired in yet, it'll have its own switch. That's the fresh water, which has its own switch, and it's empty, but you'll see it lights up, and then the needle would move around if there was any water in it. This is the one that I've just been faffing with today. This is the Temu thing, where the wires fell off the back, so I've ended up buying this one, and then you turn it on to see what your battery charge is, and that's 13.6, so it's flashing on the screen so I don't know if you can see it. And then that is my diesel heater control, which is fitted, but the diesel heater's not in yet, but I've fitted it in and it's wired through the back, just ready to connect. I've got to tidy up this bit. That switch is the lights in the shower, and then this switch is the lights in this area here, and then there's a switch for the lights down there. But that's the control panel, just needs finishing off now. Quite pleased with that. Now, onwards. For fullness, this is what the back looks like. As you can see in there, lots of wires and stuff, lots of connections. So this will be panelled off. This is a cupboard, that'll be panelled at the back, panelled at the side, so this will be some kind of an opening for, well, I don't know, books. And you can see I've run the wires on a false base there, so the wires run through there and down the corner all that'll be boxed in and through and into here. So yeah, I'm going to tidy this up, put a bit of trim on there. I think this needs painting, and there's still all these, that's for the waste, all need wiring in. Generally speaking, the hamster's nest. And that's the diesel heater connection. Right, I'm going to run this here now. I've put a front on as a temporary measure, that you can see there. Probably going to leave it open, maybe put a door on, not sure. I think a door might tidy it up. There's quite a lot of space in there, and then there, well, that will have a false door on, just so I don't get everything tangled up in the wires. And there is the control panel. Yeah, we'll leave it there. I think next job is overhead cabinets over the bed, which will be on this side, just for clothes storage.